You're watching CCN, Clarksville Community Network, produced by Goodwin Productions. Powered by CDE Lightband.
Hey, welcome back to CCN Network and episode 6 of Coach's Corner. Today, again, is Coach G. Gallowitz from West Creek, Coach P. Peña from Northwest, and Coach Hood from Rossview. So today's topic is, so we've been planning this for so long. So today's topic would be, Coach G, what would it be?
Spring ball.
Spring ball.
Get into
Sounds
spring
good.
ball.
Spring ball. All right, Coach P, give us a rundown of how is Northwest, how's the Vikings, the Green?
Well,
how are you guys looking over there for spring ball?
Well, it's going to be brief for me because our spring game got rained out, and our last practice even got rained out. So we had a really, really good first week. Guys getting integrated, guys learning technique, things like that. We had some good kids come out. We had some not so good kids come out, but you know, that's just the nature of the beast.
So Coach P is being truthful. He said something like some good guys are coming out, some guys that aren't so good is coming out. So It's nice that we talk a little truth here today.
And there's some guys that have never even touched the game, doesn't know anything about the game, that decided they wanted to come out.
Gotcha.
And we had a good showing, about almost 40 kids, and that's pretty good because we had kids in other sports. But like we've been talking about the past few episodes, we're trying to find a good quarterback out there, and we had some good evaluations at that position and some bright spots on our line. But we weren't able to have a game. So I was sneaking around at other people's spring game to see what they were doing. And
okay, so did you see anybody's other game?
Well, I saw this tall guy with this maroon team over there. And
who'd they scrimmage?
Themselves, I believe. Right? No, it was Montgomery Central. Montgomery Central. You're right. So
was that West Creek?
It was West Creek.
Well, let's go to the source. Here it is. Coach Gallowitz. Okay, man. Okay. So I know we talked about you've got some quarterback issues, like you're trying to find someone. Maybe not an issue, but you're trying to find one, and we're all trying to figure out things in the spring. We got some new kids, some new things going on, some new schemes or whatever. Maybe you're running the spread, maybe you're on the wing tee, maybe you're running the gun version of the wing tee. I hear things too, quit laughing. We all talk, okay, man. So all right, so what happened there? What's going on?
So we had a really good spring. It was a great opportunity for us to be able to learn kind of the new offense that we're doing. We do have we got two quarterbacks that we were really working. Daniel Honeycutt, he's going to be a senior. He played almost every single position for us last year.
What number was he?
6.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's real good.
Now, what's the coach that put the target on people? I wouldn't do that. I'm just throwing it out, have a little fun, relax, people.
Yeah.
We're just pure fun.
Yeah, yeah. He's a tough kid, man. He's hard to knock down. But he played. He was our kick returner. He was our punter. He was our quarterback. He was our slot wide receiver. We could put him anywhere, and good things usually happen when we had him. So he worked at quarterback, and then we had DJ Swanson. He's another guy. He plays baseball for West Creek, and he plays football for us. And so, he's a young guy. He's going to be a junior, so he's kind of up and coming, and we're really excited about him because again, he's one of those guys that when he has the ball, good things happen. Another thing, probably our offensive line. Finally, I think in the first time in the years that I've been there, we have a line that actually looks like a good, solid offensive line that can compete at 6A. So we're really excited about some of those pieces. We tried a new center. Our center's about 6'4", 6'3". He's Orlando Dean. And so this is his first year kind of learning the position. And he's a big kid. And then we have Amari Hunt. He's going to play guard for us, and he can do a couple things like we're going to run gap scheme. In the years past, we've run a little gap scheme, a little zone, and I think when you run gap scheme, you can be a lot more aggressive, especially because it's just more point of contact, and the rules are a lot simpler, and that helps the guys up front, and they can play fast without thinking. So we really like that. Because we have some big guys that have really worked hard in the weight room. Aiden Madden's another one. He's going to play tackle for us. That can kind of just come downhill on people and really kind of deliver the blow instead of kind of bracing for the defensive lineman and linebacker. So We're excited about those guys. We have, we're always trying to find new pieces. We got Carden Smith kind of rotating in and finding a spot on there. And then our backfield is kind of the best part about it because we are going to go to more of a wing tee, which is more of a gap scheme. We've got Nathan Lucas. He's going to play one of the wings. We've got DJ McCoy. We've got, Jay Sean Owsley, which a lot of people saw as our defensive end. We called him a bullet last year who would just come off the side, and he wrecked a lot of havoc. Yeah, we're excited about him.
Keep him in the chamber when we play, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Don't fire that one.
Yeah, he's one of those kids, man. He's kind of the cog that makes the defense go. He's a real emotional player, and he's done such a great job because when we got him as a sophomore, those emotions would come out, and he just couldn't really figure out a way to contain them. But now he's finally matured, and he's grown up and going into his senior year. We should see him take off and kind of do a lot of good things. So we've got Ty Hatfield at wide receiver. We've got Ashton Sasenic at tight end. So Derek Brown at tight end. So we got a lot of these pieces that we're kind of excited about coming back. And I think these guys are excited about playing in the offense because, again, it's more of, we're coming down on top of people instead of, trying to kind of base up and
well, so, we played each other last year, so you're basically more of a inside-outside zone, outside perimeter game. So obviously you're doing something a little different. So how did that transition go? Because, obviously for your gap scheme and zone scheme, it's a little different. So how did that transition go, and, how fast did the kids sort of pick up on some of that stuff?
I think the rules are a lot simpler. And so when you're teaching it, it's like, hey, no matter what the defensive front gives you, these are your rules.
Right.
You've got 3 things you can do.
It isn't called gap down backer, is it?
It is gap down backer.
No, man, no.
Yeah, I know. It's you'd be shocked.
Am I on your staff or something?
Yeah,
I'm getting great intel.
Yeah.
He's got the
Somebody's
original
sitting in the huddle.
Of it. He just stoned it in back in the day.
Yeah.
And we
it's
just
tattooed on my
follow
back.
it. We just follow it.
My calf.
Yeah.
It's tattooed on my calf.
Yeah. So that helps, I think, for us. And then we're running the same defense. So anytime you get a second year and something that was really successful for us, it works out. And, we got so many young guys that we're kind of plugging and playing, and so we're excited about that. And so what about you? How did you guys?
So obviously, we're running we're running no back. No, that's not what we're doing. I think we might run a little bit of the wing T type stuff. So I heard that Sam Lipsey, the new head coach at Northeast, is running some wing T. So I hear that you're running a little bit of wing T. So I said, hey, listen, if they're going to do it, then that must be the thing to do. So we're going to try some of that stuff. Yeah. But that was a transition for us going into spring ball, was trying to transition some gap schemes and some other things, some new formations and things that we're trying to do. So that was very interesting for us. So we had, the good thing about us is that we had JT Sims was playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. He got to play a little bit of quarterback last year. So he's a great slot guy, got good vision, can move, can catch, he's quick. He played some quarterback for us. Reed, Brian, who started last year, got injured at the end of the season. So he's back. So I had sort of some quarterbacks that learning some new stuff, but they've played quarterback before some. So that was helpful. Hezekiah Scott, who's a baseball player, he's going to be coming back out. They just finished up baseball. So we're going to have a nice battle. So that's going to be good. And anybody knows me, so whoever wins that battle is going to start. So if feelings get hurt, that's just the way it is. That's where the world is. That's where any position we have. So that's going to be an interesting battle. There are 3 good kids, 3 good quarterbacks, so we'll see where that goes. Colin Michael did a really good job at tight end. He's still learning some things about that position. And Cole Phillips and Deron played some sort of like it's called a wing back, played some running back for us, mixed it up a little bit, as well as Cole being sort of our ringleader on the defensive side. He'll be a junior, so we're looking for big things out of him to run our defense. We've got Hank Reeser. He's coming back from last year. He'll be a junior, so played some receiver for us. Got a few other guys mixing it up. DJ Young, DeAntoine, he's a running back. Had a fantastic junior year, really solid. You can depend on that guy. Another solid kid that you don't have to worry about. So that was good for us. And on the defensive side, we had Coach Stratty Young is back with us, and he's going to be doing our defense. Had a great foundational, just laying the foundation for defense, how we get lined up, how we play, how we get off blocks, getting things lined up for us. So that was very good for us. We got some guys on both sides of the ball. Carson Keene, he come out after baseball and just really picked up on it quick. He's going to be a senior, so I think he's going to help us out. Jeremy and Nell on both sides of the ball played well. We had Lucas, Big Lucas and Logan, they're brothers. They're going to be a good ball player for us. Big boys on both sides of the ball. Lim Mullaney is going to be a senior, so he was nose guard, left guard. Really had a good spring for us. So some guys mixed it up, and then we had a couple centers. We had McBee and we had Reeves, two young guys at center. So sort of battling that position out. And from the start to finish, it's like anything. It's like, it's a new system, so getting things in place, getting your calls and things in place. So lots of new things for us. But I think from the beginning to the end that you could see some light, see some improvement. We had a scrimmage against East Robb. They're going to be a very good 2A team this year. I really expect for them to battle for something, maybe the gold ball this year. I really think they're pretty darn good. So we had a really good scrimmage against them. They ended up on top. They outscored us, but I thought we saw some good things from top to bottom with that scrimmage. And it's always good to see somebody else, right? I mean, You see yourself, and the kids know things. And how about your kids? Do you ever make a call and the defense knows what it is, and like your coach will get mad? They'll be like, they know what the call is. You ever had that one? Like you've been doing it a while now, so they trigger on things, Yeah. So we do that a little bit in practice. So it was good to see somebody else. And I like my coaching staff. I like where we're going. So things are in place. So now it's sort of heading toward the summertime. That's sort of where we are next.
I do have a question for us. Us going in, all of us are sitting here and we're going to have some good quarterback battles in our respective programs. What's some things that y'all are looking for as far as, see, I'm trying to help these quarterbacks out now. But what are some things you're looking for in a starting quarterback in your program when you got these guys battling it out? Like with me, I have Braden Ellis, I have Brady Burchett, and I have Ahmad Harvey, who all three of those guys are special in their own way.
And they might bring something different to the game.
They actually do, because Braden Ellis is a pure pocket passer, great feet, doesn't have the arm strength, but he has great accuracy, so he can get it down the field the right way. Brady Burchett is more of my guy that, you can put him just like your guy, or just like, Honeycutt. You can put him at tight end, you can put him at slot, you can put him at running back, and he can get at quarterback, and he can throw a little bit, and we can use him in so many different ways. And then you got a wild card like Ahmad Harvey coming in, who's a basketball kid but can throw it, very versatile, can move really well, but I'll put it out here, his consistency has to be there. So that'll be a big battle, and what I look for is, I used to be a quarterback, man. I played quarterback, so I know one of the most important things is having that moxie, that pizzazz, that it factor. But are you capable of not only being the guy, but being the guy, not getting too high of emotions and not too low of emotions? When the game's on the line and it's intense and the lights are on, are you going to fold? Are you going to get too excited because you make a big play? Or are you going to keep that stoic, ice cold, hey, we still got to win this game? Well, what are some of the qualities and things that you guys look for in your starting quarterback?
What do you think, Coach G?
I think the biggest thing we try to do is we want our best athletes to touch the ball every single play. So that's how we generally want to, just by looking at the basic physical gifts that these kids are given, and you can kind of and we build on top of that with the weight room. And so kids that take the weight room seriously, kids that really kind of like you said, are even keel, they don't let the game atmosphere affect them too much, right? Because you'll have some kids that'll come to the sideline, and we had a really close game with Kenwood, and we were up on Kenwood, and they started to come back on us, and they almost ended up beating us, and we had you had some kids they can't. They've never been in that moment, so they don't know what this a tight game feels like. Right. And you have to those are the kids you don't want to put at quarterback. You want to put the kids that, all right, hey, I'm seeing this. Do you see this? And it's yes. I need somebody on the field that can almost mimic me on there, and say, hey, look, I see a 1, and they're giving us a 5. Let's run this play.
Yeah.
Or hey, the line shifted on us, so the 1 went away. The 3 went to our side. We've got to flip the play.
Right.
So somebody that can kind of understand what we're trying to attack and why. And then in practice, you want to give them a little leeway of like when they do things, automatically they know like that didn't feel right. Like when I took that step, like the running back didn't take his jab step. The running back didn't take his counter step.
Right.
Like they didn't take their necessary steps, and I know what he's supposed to be doing.
For sure.
Because like there's plenty of times we get some running backs that'll line up on the wrong side of the ball,
Sure, of course.
or they don't know where they're supposed to be, and so the quarterback's kind of like, hey, get over here, you're over there. Like, you know, they go to put somebody in motion, they don't motion, so they back out of the play. Hey, like, this is what we're running. All right. This is what we're running.
Get in gear. Here
Ready.
we go, man. Listen.
And so that's the big thing. We almost want another coach out there, and it's guys that can handle multiple like things being thrown at them.
Highly intelligent.
Yeah,
got to be required, right?
And that's the two biggest things I think we have right now with Honeycutt and then Swanson. I mean, you can put both of them out there, and they have a skill set that's a little different.
Right.
Like, hands down, if DJ is out in the field one-on-one, like, I love that matchup.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Like this kid can stop on a dime and cut the other way, and it's incredible. Honeycutt is just like a dog.
Right.
And he can throw a little bit better. And then they both can throw, but I think Honeycutt's a little older. He's been working it a little longer. And so for us, I think that's what we try to look for in a quarterback. And then obviously, like that's why we do all the passing camps. So, I mean, we're going to two passing camps this summer, and then we're going to the one that we do in the city.
Right.
And we want them to throw as much as possible so I can know for a fact, like, I have all of this on film. I have as much information as I can to make this decision. Like, let's see where we end up at. So, I know it's kind of a long-winded way to answer your question.
No, it's great because, like I said, we've all had that quarterback, and now our guys are out of there. Like you said, Reed left was injured a little earlier before the season ends, but we've all seen great quarterback play. I think you had another quarterback back in the day that's currently in college. I don't know if he was that good, but he might have been all right.
Yeah, he made me look good.
He might have been all right.
Good quarterbacks like Bryce Robinson, which he's probably nowhere behind this camera. He couldn't be back there, but yeah, those guys make you look good. And I think for me, number one is, as you sort of mentioned this, it's like game savvy, right? Does the game slow down, right? I mean, can they see things and check things and get everybody lined up and get your motions, and can they do all those things and be calm about it and execute? Instead, some people get up there and they forget this, or they don't get somebody lined up, or they get a little nervous or something. So the game savvy and slowing down, and obviously the quarterback has to know every position, right? He's got to know the running backs, and he's got to know the blocking schemes. He's got to know defenses. So I think those are things you sort of look for. Does the game slow down? Can they make those type decisions? That's very important. And somebody that can lead your team that the kids believe in. And some kids have the moxie and some don't. I mean, you don't coach that. That's in them, the dog. You talked about the dog. I don't put dog in people.
Nope.
You know, we can talk about the dog. We can show them videos of dogs, and we can do all that kind of stuff. If they ain't got that meanness and that drive and that want to inside of them, if it's 3rd and 1, you know that dog's going to get the first down for you. So those are things you can't put in kids, but they have to have that. But you hope you can identify that, and those type kids if it's in a quarterback role or somewhere else. I think those are some things you look for in a quarterback as we go through the transitions. And it sounds like, I think sort of as we talked back in the wintertime, that we were all sort of figuring some things out. And now after spring, we can sit back and say, okay, now we've still got to figure some things out, but we have a direction. And we have some guys to choose from, which is a great option.
For sure.
It's not like we're still trying to scramble for something, but in any kind of football, on any football team, you got to have a backup, right? You don't ever know when you need that kid, but you got to have someone else. If it's just a small injury, a quick injury, a timeout, or something happens, or is it someone that's out for a game or 2 or 3 or the season? So those are things that you got to have a backup plan. It's as coaches, you understand we have plan A, plan B, plan C, and sometimes there's no plan D and E. And I've been down there in games where, hey man, we haven't gotten that far, and you got to sort of plug kids in the best you can. So that's what we look for in quarterbacks, and I think as we move forward with summertime, those will be things we can evaluate. And then as we get ready to game time, that you got to put the screws down. It's time to roll and see how they respond to that. So that being said, moving into summertime, so evaluation. So what's sort of your schedule? I think we're going to practice we're going to start till like August. I think school starts. So we feel pretty confident. So school starts, we'll come out. No, we don't do that. Hold on. we are going to practice in the summertime. We got to play you guys. We have got to practice in the summertime. So I think sometimes my kids think we practice too long, like we practice too much. So I'm like, well, when we get really, really good and I feel good and comfortable about what we're doing, then maybe we can back down some. But I feel like we're always trying to grow and take a step. As we went through spring, I feel like that we see the top of the mountain, but we take baby steps. I think there's got to be a time where you take larger steps where you can actually see the top of the mountain, so you see that and move on. So, Coach G, some summertime activities and some schedules. What do you think you guys are going to be doing? You're practicing, and what do you do during the summertime? Like, is it just conditioning, lifting weights, or do you do other things?
Yeah, we tried. So, kind of revert back to spring real quick. We tried a new schedule for practicing. So we lifted actually 45 minutes before we went out to practice, which we've never done before. And after talking to Beach High School, that's something that they did. They have a little scheduling that allows that a little bit more.
You mean they might get their kids during the school day?
Yeah. Okay, so they get their kids.
So there's some people out there, some schools out there. So if you're in Montgomery County, they try to do some things with lifting and other things, but there are other schools that like on block schedule, they might get their kids like at 1 o'clock. So they would have all of their team, it could be basketball, football, whatever sport, but they get their kids like at 1 o'clock. So those are the 6A teams that we played in past, like Oakland, we played Mount Juliet.
Beach, Gallatin.
Beach, Gallatin, all those schools. So they have block scheduling. Their coaches get their kids at 1 o'clock. As opposed to us, we get them at 2:30. So an hour and a half could be what? Could be video, could be install, it could be evaluation, scheduling, all kinds of things can happen, which is huge. But so if you don't get your kids till 2:30 and you don't get them like all of them, you might get 5 or 6, whatever. If you get all of your kids during the day, that solves a lot of your scheduling issues. So apparently you had to lift because you need to lift and you need to get that in. So
and so we felt like we kind of condensed our practice plan. I reached out to a couple other schools that I thought do a really good job, like East Nashville and Green Hill and those guys, and looked at their practice plans and what are they doing. And so a lot of teams I've seen have almost kind of condensed practice a little bit to where they're going an hour and a half, 2 hours, where we were going 2.5 hours. So we were like, all right, let's see what it looks like to lift, then go. And so the kids actually liked it. I mean, we weren't, throwing a lot of heavy weight, but we were kind of repping the weight room. And then so we're going to try to continue that in the summer. We're going to go 2 hours in the morning, just so we can eliminate a lot of the heat. And the idea is we're going to try to still make it a little bit of like a practice feel. We can't go in shoulder pads or anything like that, but we can get in helmets and throw. And so we're going to go to a couple 7-on-7 camps. I know a lot of people don't like 7-on-7. For me, it's just a chance for us to compete. So you get to see somebody else. There's something to almost look forward to. And I know my coaches, they hated me last year. They had to have, because every day it was like, hey, man, we got to go to 7-on-7. And then they're like, we just got back from one. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But the kids love them. You know what I mean? The kids love them.
They do.
And so we're going to 2 of them. We're going to Ravenwood, and then we're going to Hopkinsville. And those are 2 really highly competitive 7-on-7s. They get to see a different high school. They get to see other high schools that are really well coached. Because, again, I think it helps when you're in those tight – it doesn't really help – because everyone says that, 7-on-7 is not really football. And I totally agree with that. But in those games, there's elements of the game where, hey, you have about 30 seconds left, and you've got to make a 20-yard throw, a 40-yard throw. You've got 2 or 3 plays to get down there and make this play, or you're out. You lose the game. And so I think putting kids in those really intense game-like situations of okay, we've got to run this route tight. We've got to run this concept really, really well, and we've got to take advantage of certain things on defense or whatever it may be. And I think that translates really well to the game. And I mean, it may not, but I just want to at least have them in that experience before we go face Laverne week 1, where, Laverne, they're well coached. They're going through the summer. They're in this tight situation where, hey, we're down by 3, we're down by 7. We got to we can't freak out. We've got to be locked into, all right, what is our role? What is our assignment? So I think those things really help.
Are you guys practicing 1 day a week or 2 days a week, 3 days, 5 days a week?
We're always kind of playing
Roughly.
with that. We're thinking about going 4,
right.
Monday through Thursday. Because again, like at the end of the day, they're still kids, and they, they're not getting paid to do this. They're not getting a scholarship to do this. They're not.
Now, some may not be getting paid, but now some may because
some may.
Who knows? I mean,
some may.
It's not like it's impossible now.
Yeah, it's true. And so that's kind of our schedule. We're just going to go 4 days, give them Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, have a couple tournaments on the weekends. We're just trying to compete, go out, throw the ball as many times as physically possible, and then run the ball as many times as physically possible in the season. You know what I mean? I don't want to throw it all. So, but if we have to, I want to know, can we hit the corner route? Can we hit the post? Can we hit a flood concept? Like just stuff like that. So
I got you. What about you, Coach P? Over in the Green Bay land, the Green Bay Packer land over there.
Well, first off, I want to say my guy Douglas Figueroa, he's a good receiver for us. He dislocated and broke his ankle.
Oh, wow.
In the spring,
okay. Tibia, fibula, and ankle, all got it. So we hope to get him back probably about week 5. And I just want to say, get a speedy recovery to that young man, because great character young people. Gosh. We definitely need it. Big loss, big one for us, because he knows where everybody on the field is as far as our receiving core. So he's still there in crutches, leading those guys, and I love it. So love you, Doug. Get better. First off, we're going to go 4 days a week as well. We're going to go in the morning as well, and this is my first time going in the morning, learning it the hard way, because when you go in the evenings, being here in the South, we went 5 to 7. You can't really get much in that first 5 to 6 o'clock because it's still between 95 to 105 in those times. So we were losing days outside. Like sometimes we might be only in just, regular street clothes practicing, but, there were days where you're not even supposed to be outside because it's too hot. So, and, we're very disciplined with that part. So we're going to go 7 to 10 in the morning. We're going to lift first. Our strength and conditioning coordinator I was just talking about before we got on here, Shaheen Eversley, he's been phenomenal since he's came on to the staff, and I trust that he has great intentions for not only our offensive line and defensive line, which will be the strength of our team, but our team as a whole will get stronger, and we'll track that and we'll do the analytics to make sure that we do the best to get that. And
analytics, man, is that like a special pay position or something for that?
So you want me to nerd out? So we gonna nerd.
Is this like there's a Ole Miss or something? We don't pun. I mean,
I'm telling all my secrets, but I'll tell this one because coaches know that the app is called Team Builder. We track our workouts in Team Builder, and the kids. The bad part about it is the kids got to have their phones.
Sure.
So you got to make sure we're teaching technique.
Not playing on their phones.
They're not messing on their phone during my lifting time. I don't play that. I don't like it, and I don't play that. They know that. But once they input their data, you can't cheat it, because if you fudge your numbers too high, then what they expect to do when it's time to max out, if you're not making that, we know you're lying. But if you underdo it, if you undersell your numbers and you go to max out and you're lifting like it's 2 balloons, then we know you're shortchanging yourself and you're shortchanging the program. So we track that. We look at the progressions from every 4 weeks. We do it bi-monthly. We look at is that line going up? Is it staying even, or is it going down as a team? And it goes with numbers. It goes with how hard they're working in, but it holds them accountable of themselves, and it makes them see physically as players, hey, I'm improving, I'm getting stronger, and it makes them want to get even stronger. So we're fortunate enough to have a good athletic director who not only we brought it to her, now it's out to all of our programs in the school. So it's a really good thing, Team Builder app to use.
Now, obviously, that's probably not free, right?
No, it's not.
There's a fee for that.
It's pretty good.
So you probably split it with
Absolutely.
some. Okay, Coach knows a couple things here.
And that's what we do. We take those analytics on how much are we improving? Are we improving at a good rate? Sure. Are we on pace to be in good shape when it comes down to week 1, when we get to Jamboree time in fall? Like, what is our team goals as far as strength and power and speed? And Coach Eversley he's been doing phenomenal with it, with, of course, Coach Hall, who was my strength and conditioning guy while we found one. He's been helping as well, and it's been a good weight room session for our guys. But going out there at 7 to 10, getting a good lift in. We'll probably go to the Hopkinsville tournament as well for 7-on-7. We're gonna do an overnight. We're gonna do an overnight camp where we just a team bonding deal, but we're gonna put them through the ringer. I'm a 13-year Army veteran, so I know about waking kids up at 2:30, 2:40 in the morning, getting them up and working them out until they sweat, and then put them back to sleep until about 6 or 7, and then go again. So we're gonna try to get that.
Probably like in July or something?
It's gonna be in July where we have those rules where we can do 2-a-days, things like that. So it'll be during those weeks when we're able to do that. But before then, it's just gonna be a lot of install, a lot of us out there in helmets only, and a lot of us hitting the weight room in that whole month of June. And then getting into July, it's 7-on-7 at Hopkinsville. A week or two later, we're scrimmaging Pope John Paul, and then we go to Cheatham County comes to us. After that, to scrimmage, and then it's showtime. It's Jamboree. So ours is pretty low key, but a lot to work on at a few different positions in order to set us up to be competitive this year.
Where are you guys going for the overnight camp?
We're gonna stay right there at Northwest. So I'm gonna run it myself. TSU has been a good school to do it. I think Bethel and Tennessee Tech. I think those 3 schools, and Lindsey Wilson as well. Those are schools that have said that they do it as well, but the dollars weren't talking to me. I'll be honest, the dollars were a little too high for my blood per player. Sure. So from what I've been told and what I've looked up and who I've talked to, so I said, why not we do it at our school? The parents will be there and help support throughout the day, and then at night, we'll have a team bonding experience, and just. They'll go get some rest, and wake them up in the middle of the night and get a good one in as far as a workout in, and run them in the dirt, and then they go back to sleep, probably crying and calling for mom to come pick them up. But they won't have their phones though. They won't have their phones. Sorry,
you're not going anywhere.
You will not have your phone, so you ain't calling nobody. And then we'll have a good walkthrough period and everything the next morning. They'll get with their position and coaches and coordinators before they leave, and we'll get them out of there for that day and get ready to keep rolling for the rest of the summer, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, summertime is summertime, but really not for coaches, really. No. And really not for players. I mean, there is some time required for that. So for us at Rossview, we're going to come in, get a 5-minute workout. We feel pretty good about that. We're going to do 2 or 3 sprints. And I think we're going to throw a couple routes, man. We're going to go home. We'll feel
about 30 minutes in and out.
That's it, man.
So, really our schedule is very similar to you guys. We'll go 4 days in June. We're looking at some 7-on-7 stuff. I'm not for sure if I want to commit to that, because I really want to focus on what we're doing and how we're doing things. And really, I think you guys would agree, 7-on-7 in certain offenses is more conducive. Yeah. So a philosophy. So if you're a true wing T offense, then going to a 7-on-7 may not be your thing. Okay. Not it may be, but that would be conducive for what you're trying to do. So I feel like what we're trying to do may not be conducive for me being at a 7-on-7, because the things that we're doing, we do have passing game, obviously, all that kind of stuff. But I know to be successful in passing league, you got to do some rub routes, you got to teach a man, you got to do some motions. That's the way I've always done things. We had success with it. That's not what we're doing. Yeah. So do I spend time, as a coach, doing all that stuff? And some of that stuff we're not going to do. Some we will, but some we won't. So those are things that I'm looking at. What's going to be better for Rossview? Yep. What's going to be better for what we're trying to get accomplished and where we need to be when we get ready to play. So those are things I'm thinking about. But one thing where I'm really excited about is we're going to get on these rafts, right? We're going to take the team on a trip, and we're going to take these guys up in this bus. And we're going to put these helmets on, these big paddles, man. And the first drop in, when these guys sees this first drop in, man, is like friggin' 300 foot. I mean, if you make it through this, if you live through that first drop, guys, I'm telling you, if you make it through that drop, you might make it down the rest of the 5-mile trip. So we're going to Coe, man. We're going to Chattanooga. We're going to bunk them up. We're going to have some food. We're going to go nose up, toes up. If you get out of that thing, man, hey, if you fall out of that boat, that's where we go, man. So we're going. So when you see, if you make it the first drop, I'm serious, man. That first drop, if you make that one, if you come out on top and you're alive with that, a life-saving vest. If you make that one, hey man, you're golden. The rest is easy. So that's going to be an overnight stay. I've done this like probably 6 or 7 times. And I know Bryce, he's behind the camera, but he's went with us. We have had so much fun doing this.
That's it.
And so the coaches, I package people up, right? I won't put them in a certain group, I'm going to package people up. So that's going to be fun. So I'm excited about that. A couple other things we're going to do. And we'll have, I've got another person with a sports mind coming in, talk about the mental part of the game. She's going to come and talk to her kids 5 or 6 times this year. So try and hit every avenue, because I talk to them sometimes about how we do things. Sometimes I think someone else needs to direct them. So those are some areas we're going in. We'll have camp in July. We'll have a little camp where we stay all day long. So we're working on, installs and special teams. We got, now. So let me ask you this. So probably in spring ball, you didn't punt or kick. You didn't punt or kick. So now you take that practice schedule. If you had an hour and a half or 2 hours, now you have to incorporate a special teams period. Probably some type of an individual special team period in your coaches. Then you got to actually kick and return and put schemes in. You can't do one, so you're going to have multiple. That takes time. So those are things that we'll incorporate in June, a little bit in June, and probably a lot in July as we go on. So we got to find some kickers and all that fun stuff. So the kicking game is always scares the coach, right? Yeah. We talked about this on one. We talked about onsides kicking every play, which West Creek accidentally did, but it was successful. So, hey, right? So
almost got me beat up. So I don't know. I don't know if that's successful or not.
The opposing coach almost, that was almost Channel 2 news, So, but those are, so as coaches, we look at the summertime. Number one, we're all practicing. We're all lifting weights. We're all running. We're all doing some type of individual. Those are all things we're trying to do, and might be a little bit of a twist. How we do things. And
let me ask you this: so when you take them down the whitewater rafting trip, the insurance on yourself must be
I was thinking that the whole time.
But hey, look, you got money like
me. Are they signing waivers?
I just signed my name to it, man.
I'd make them sign 5 waivers, maybe a video recording, like I am going on my own accord. I am not being held against my will.
Oh man,
that's a really creative thing, because I do think
Bryce is still alive.
Yeah,
he'll tell you.
Does he have friends that didn't make it?
We all made it. Okay, we had a few flips, but we all made it.
That's such a creative idea, because I do think the summertime does kind of get mundane.
Sure.
Because you're going to practice every day, and it's hot, and you're working hard. And I think there's not a lot of, I like scrimmaging people in the spring, because the kids have someone to look forward to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's all right, we're working so we can beat up on Central.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we can show that we know that we can compete with Central, right? And it's the same thing with the summer. I think that's why I try to get those 7-on-7s in there. But I do think things like that are really creative. It's really smart.
So what we do to break up hours, and it's not to that magnitude, which is definitely an excellent idea, but we'll just have random water fights. Parents will bring balloons, anything like that, and they're just getting out of practice, walking up, getting out of practice, and coaches are sitting there with balloons in their hands, and then they find the cooler full of balloons, and we just break out into an all-out water fight. Yeah. It's just sometimes it's very important, because you don't want to lose the kids that are coming there getting beat up by the heat all day long. You have to do things to keep that attention span like that. So it's not to that biggest degree, but it helps. It definitely does.
No, and I think that's really cool, because again, I think you want the kids are here to have fun. You know what I mean? And I think that finding those little ways. that water balloon fight probably takes all of 15 minutes.
Not even.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
but they're going home happy.
Yeah. And so I think that's something that we're man. We enjoy coming to Northwest and having a good time and having the water balloon fight, or because I think sometimes and I don't know how your high school experiences were, but I think a lot of those kids I guarantee if we asked Bryce, I bet he would say man, I don't really remember the scores, I don't really remember a lot of the outcomes, but I do remember that one time we went whitewater rafting with the team, and this happened and that happened. And I think those are really cool experiences for the kids.
It's funny you say that, because I bet Bryce would tell you about probably about the biggest workout he ever had was one time I had basically it was a special forces group come in. They had the logs, They had the training. They had the classroom work. It was an all-day thing.
I pray for
and
you, man.
I do remember a certain quarterback getting a little googly-eyed, and I've never seen that out of him. He was like in shape. He's always on it, but he got the knees sort of buckled just a little bit that day, and it was hard.
That log will do it. That big heavy log.
Yeah,
it
teamwork.
teaches you to work as
you
a
know
group,
it. You
but
know
it is brutal.
Yes, it is.
You ain't gonna walk home the same. You're gonna walk home limping.
Do that on a Thursday, so they got the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm telling you.
Maybe Monday's a little lighter.
That's true.
That was a hot day, and that was a good workout. So we did that one time. So, and I've taken them. We've taken kids to Santa Claus, Indiana, for the what's the
Holiday World.
Holiday World. We've been there. We've been to Eddiesville. And we've done some stuff like that. So,
man, the trust you have.
Yep,
yeah.
We're taking our kids to UT Martin this year because Bethel had some issues with their dorms and being able to flip them over. So we're going to UT Martin. And, I mean, on those trips, like,
I know.
the kids love it.
Yeah.
Right? But 4 days in charge of 100 kids, and there's only 10 of us. I mean, talk about, like, I'm not sleeping because I'm like, did you hear that?
Is he up?
Someone up.
Is he up?
Is someone up? Go check the hallway. And then, of course, you're poking your head out, and the kids are, you see little heads pop out of the dorm room, pop back in, or you hear little feet running down the hallway. You're like, I'm going to kill these kids.
Because that's what I saw, man. That's what I just pictured, just you peeking your door out.
You're just hoping. That's why we got to do it, because I was like, hey, maybe we check out Austin Peay, and Austin Peay is phenomenal when it comes to, like, pouring into the community.
Yes, they are.
Like, I cannot talk enough about how Austin Peay is great. And they're always, but the problem is like the kids, sometimes the kids, I'm worried that, they're going to invite some friends over and mom can get to them real quick.
That is not impossible.
Yeah.
That is not
it's
impossible.
not.
No.
So I was like, UT Martin, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no way you can get out here. You know what I mean? And so it kind of, they can go, but they can't go far. And they don't know where they're at. So, it kind of keeps them in the building. But
so what you're saying is you go to bed after the kids and you don't sleep well, and then you get up before the kids and roust them up and get them going for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I got you.
Well, it's a little easier to get them going because they know if they don't eat at breakfast, then the only next time is lunch.
Yeah.
And you're going to go through film walkthrough and a walkthrough before we hit it. Sometimes if the weather's right, we'll get our helmet and shoulder pads workout done then.
Sure. And
then we'll eat lunch. And so they know this is your only shot. And so,
hey, Coach Walden at Austin Peay, man, just to go back to that, look,
dude,
I mean,
what a guy.
I know we don't promo like that, but we definitely would benefit to have him on here with us and to talk that college piece, because he's an excellent coach for Austin Peay, man. I just wanted to put that out there.
I just want to bottle up some of that energy, man.
Man.
I tell him all the time.
I thought I had so much, but
if he gets fired, he needs to go be a motivational coach.
He puts a whole new level of energy.
He's got some energy drink sponsors, I believe. So, Coach Walden out there, that would be a great thing. Some C4, some Monsters. I know you're getting paid the big bucks. You know what I'm saying? But a little side money wouldn't hurt some. Hey, you heard it from Hood. So Coach Hood made a little side kicker, man. Yeah. And I'm not getting that money. You know what I'm saying? So, but Austin Peay does a great job, and their team. And I think everybody's looking forward to their upcoming season.
Absolutely.
As a college, I like to watch pro, but I'm a huge college guy, man, for my whole life. So I'm huge into college, and one of these days I'm gonna hit the circuit. I'm going to watch all these games because I love to do that, but that's another day.
You're an Austin Peay alumni, right?
I didn't. Now, listen, I played quarterback at Austin Peay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days. I played 3 days.
And then you played right tackle? Or
No, I didn't go to quarterback. No, I went to free safety for a year, then I played linebacker. So, So,
I attended Austin Peay. I didn't play. I played intramurals. We had a heck of an intramural squad. But I will say it's, going there, going to the football games, a lot of the excitement was before the games.
Sure.
The tailgate, the camaraderie, hanging out with the sororities
they still do
and
that,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they do that really well. But the games never had a whole lot to look forward to.
Right.
And man, we had some talented rosters, but now, I think where they're at now, every game is a great game to go to. They're breaking attendance records left and right.
If you blink,
you'll
miss something.
And the swagger that they have is unmatched.
If you blink, you will miss something.
Yeah, I think the point we sort of talked, we relate it back to football and growing kids and seeing things and change and culture. I think when I look back and see the transition, the big change, they had a lot of great coaches over there. But I think when Coach Healy come in. If you know this guy, like you could text him and talk to him, very much like Scotty Walden's doing over there. He sort of got the ball going, and I think he had like the #1 recruiting class when they didn't win a game, if I remember right, the first year. So you see the change, but you didn't see the numbers. You didn't see the wins. Then I think as the coaching change went on, I think you see those guys take that and run with it. But I think you also see, or have seen in the past, that they've been allowed more things like the stadium has changed, the weight room has changed,
the logo,
the staff, the logo. I mean, you've seen a lot of things, the kids they're getting. I mean, all things, more money, scholarships, a lot of different things that we don't see that are behind the scenes that you see change, which helps you produce and helps you get people in place to change the atmosphere. I think sometimes in high school, you're sort of limited, right? I mean, sort of sometimes this is what we got or this is my staff. And, it's hard to get people in your building. You want coaches in your building. You want great coaches. Sometimes that's a harder for us in our culture, in our situation, to do that. But when kids buy in, right, as you're seeing, when kids just buy in, when they take care of their business and they take care of their culture, they take care of their enthusiasm, their X and O's and what they're doing, then you see things change and they start believing in the coaches, believing in what they're doing, and they take care of their business. You see that kind of culture change too. I think Austin Peay is really taking it to a new level, and it's fun to see. Our community is excited about that. And
I feel like it's fun to be a part of because, I mean, I'll never forget when Healy got hired, and I was at the school I previously was at. I mean, all of them, the whole coaching staff, came to visit our head coach.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. Like, you had 7 college coaches in there, 8 college coaches, all meeting one guy just to introduce themselves, like, hey. And, I mean, just like the creativity, I think, that Healy's had, Walden's had, like, especially Walden with, like, I know some of his guys didn't get, like, an official visit because of COVID. And so they redid it and had like this big official visit for the guys that didn't get it. And I mean, just like, and then that gets my wheels spinning. All right, well, what can I do for these incoming freshmen? What can I do for these 8th graders that sets us apart from Rossview and Northwest, where it's like, man, like that's a really cool and fun thing that we get to be a part of. And so I think that's something that, anytime because like a lot of the college game, like we can't, like I can't go out and recruit a linebacker or a fullback or a wide receiver. Like I get who I get. Right. So, some of the offensive and defensive schemes are really hard to implement, but I think the culture pieces are the biggest thing I take away. When I see things like Lane Kiffin down at Ole Miss and like the things and the slogans and the kind of way they rub people a little bit and kind of get their kids fired up. You look at Deion Sanders at Colorado, where it's like this kind of culture of like swag and like we as a team kind of have that swagger to us, not just one player. It's not just about me. It's about like when Deion Sanders is like, look, man, like I'm bringing luggage and it's Louis. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a certain swagger that comes with that. And, and I think, that's what kids these days look for, is they look for the swagginess, the different, how can we as a whole look good, feel good, play good.
We were at I was at the coaches clinic over there at Austin Peay, and Coach Walden's got it figured out there too. He had some recruits come in, some top recruits come in, and the way they do their thing, man, the photo shoot they have, man, I can't even explain the big he has this crazy elaborate photo shoot, but it's so much fun. Like the energy in there, you just start moving a little bit. You just start looking around like, okay, I'm gonna dance too. Like then you realize you're in the crowd with the guys while this guy is getting recruited, and we're having a whole coaches clinic. And he's like, hey, just give us a minute. We're doing this recruit. Join in if you want. And you just could not help but stand there. You're not going to stand there. Like there's like all these grown coaches in there with the players at Austin Peay, just enjoying it for a recruit, for 2 recruits that were there. And that's the environment, and that's the thing that he brings to the table when it comes to, being a head coach at the college level, and other head coaches, like being that unique is just going to stand out, It ain't just, here's our stuff anymore. It's gotta be a big wow factor, and now at that level it's a financial factor for some programs as well too.
Winning's important. I mean, I tell people all the time at the college level, you can have the highest GPA rating of any team, But you don't win those games, the coach won't be there. That's just
all boiled down.
I had a couple of kids that come back that's playing in college now. We talked about those type things, and is for those college coaches, I mean, it's a job. They love the game, but it is a job because that's how they pay bills. So everybody's got bills to pay and cars to drive and kids to get through school. That's just part of life, and so all that's very important. They do those type things, and you know the good thing about college is that is their job. So when they wake up in the morning, that's what they do all day long. There's no classes, there's no this or that. I mean, it's football, it's recruiting, it's on the phone. It's what they do. It's making calls, seeing people, traveling, getting their schedule set, meeting their own kids, meeting their position groups and their offensive groups and defensive groups, and it's really neat how they do things. And what a great job they've done at Austin Peay. And we're all looking forward to a great season coming up.
Absolutely.
So do you guys, like when you guys are kind of talking about just like culture pieces or anything that you guys do that's like that kind of, you know, maybe gets the kids excited, whether it's, you know, new jerseys or, you know, it's certain things that you guys like, this is what like we try to do to kind of get them excited throughout the year? Like what are some things? Maybe it's, you know, a fundraiser reward. Hey, we're going to get you, you know.
Who doesn't like swag, right?
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
Who doesn't like a shirt or a hoodie or something like that? But I think we all, you know, there's things on Twitter we'd like to post and send out. I think a lot of people do that. Rewards, player of the week, practice player of the week. A lot of people do different things. Obviously, swag is always important. I think the biggest thing is just kids getting recognition. You know, they want to be recognized, and I think the biggest thing also with the kids is they need to understand, do they earn recognition, right?
Right.
The thing is, we all want to do that, but are they earning it? We don't want to give people things, and I think kids like that. And you know, so I think as coaches, you're always talking about what can we do to help kids. It's not like we just coach and go home. We're always trying to figure out, can we do the shoulder pass? Can we do the chain? Can we dunk a ball? Can we trash can it? Well, that kid's got to play on defensive, or he's got to go back. You know, so you're always thinking of something for kids. I think sometimes kids don't think we think that way, but we're always trying to figure out things to make kids successful and fun, and you know, the turnover can or chains or you know, whatever you're trying to do, and videos and Twitter and trying to do things for the kids. It's always fun. We want them to have a good time, a good experience, and I think we're always looking for things like that.
Mine is pretty unique because it's rewarding our hard practice players. So if you have a good week of practice, now I'm about to take it back too. So we have this black jersey award. So I have this jersey, little mesh jersey. Y'all remember the jerseys that came up to here?
Oh yeah.
We actually
the mesh jersey. Yeah. So I have a black
kids
one.
have the maroon shirts walking around.
That's right. So everybody has the
line's
greens.
got it too. You know.
Coach, can we work more on the core, please?
Yeah.
Coach,
so
can we?
My guys, we have regular practice gear, but that's that one jersey. It's black. Nobody else wears it. Nobody wears it to practice. The kid that earns it gets the black jersey, and the amount of support and love that those guys give when we award somebody every week. You know, and I usually do it in the season. I'll do it on that Friday when we're doing our meal or whatever the case may be. But in the summertime, I'll do it that Monday when we're getting ready for a week. And I'm like, you know, this is a black jersey. This kid earned it, da-da-da. And it's so much love. And then you got kids going, well, I want to practice harder. I got to get that black jersey at least once. Yeah. You know, I got to at least get it one time to say that I have it. And then at the end of the year when we have our banquet, I put it in a frame and we hand it out as the recipient of like the hardest practice player. It could be a kid this big, or it could be our best player. Sure. But if you're working your butt off in practice, you get that and you take it home and hang it up, man. They love it. They love it. So that's probably one of the called the Black Jersey Award. I got it from my buddy in Austin Brown out of Northwest High School in Louisiana. When I saw him do it, I was like, I'm stealing that. Yeah, but I found the one Adidas mesh jersey that just barely comes up here. Big old black mesh jersey. They don't have to wear a shirt under it either. That's right. Don't wear a shirt. Wear the pads. Put it like something a little small so you won't get sick or nothing. But then put that mesh jersey right on top.
Yeah, they're gonna feel that until they hit the ground.
Yeah. Then like, they're mad at me.
Yeah. I'm losing a little skin here.
Absolutely.
We do the helmet stickers, which is kind of the first year we did it last year, and I didn't think anything really of it. But I mean, these kids, you talk about coming back to film, and they're like, I had 3 sacks, and it's like, no, you didn't. And they're like, oh, I did. And then they could be like, boop, boop. Yeah. They're like, this. And
but let me guess, is it because the helmets look like those Ohio State with the stick? I knew it.
Hey, it's OHIO,
baby.
Oh,
man, you put them stickers on y'all's helmets. I know they get excited for that.
Buckeye fan.
Yeah, we got to, man. And so that was our big thing is like we did the stickers. And a lot of, I mean, even the JV kids. And it does kind of help reward because like we do something similar at the end of the week. So we eat on Thursdays. And on Thursday, like our walkthrough, we'll go through and we'll talk about some of the young guys that we saw a lot of good things out of. Because we try to keep stats for the JV, but it's just kind of tough just with, you've got so much to do just to prepare. And we don't have 15 GAs to help us, And so, but we try to give them stickers. And I mean, some of the kids like they're just, spacing their stickers out. They're like, hey, I had this stat. Hey, coach. And so, I mean, it does kind of activate them to watch more film because they're watching a lot more film to see, where we made mistakes. And then sometimes they're trying to fudge the numbers a little bit. Like, I had a forced fumble, and I'm like, no, he just fumbled it, and you jumped on it.
You were close.
Yeah, you were close. You were close. That doesn't count as a forced fumble, though. You missed the forced part. And so
it's a double F. We call it the FF. That's how we mark that.
And so it is a real cool thing because we call the kids up. We drop the stats. We kind of build it up, and we give them all
criteria and
yeah. And then we give like if we rushed for, I think last year it was like 150 yards, we gave a sticker for that. And if we threw for 100 yards, we give a sticker for that. If we didn't have any drop balls, we give a sticker for that. So you do try to find ways. It's like like, because we do want to go into a week, win or loss, with some stickers, But when we do win, everybody gets a team sticker for a win, and so it does kind of build that up for some of the kids.
So you're giving Sport Decals a lot of money? Is that Sport Decals? Is that your company?
No, we actually go through Sheepdog.
Okay, all right. Sheepdog.
So
Sheepdog.
It's a local guy.
Local guy. Sheepdog local.
Sheepdog does a good job. Yeah.
Got my shirt from
So maybe I get a little kickback for the. Sponsor. But yeah, so this year we're gonna change it up. We're gonna put coyotes on one side, and then just sticker the left side to kind of build it up. So we'll see it's gonna be in cursive, how you see the coyotes. Right. But so we do that, and then we always try to find different ways. Like fundraising for me has always been difficult to get the kids kind of to buy into that, because
nobody likes that, do they? I mean,
well, I think it's hard for the kids to see. Like, I'm raising all this money, and we got new practice pads, and I have new helmets, and we have the best shoulder pads, but like they don't understand like how did that just showed up? That's not affecting me personally. Right. And so we changed it up this year. If you hit certain goals, like we bought them our 7-on-7 gear. Right. We get this like it's basically underwear.
Right.
I would never wear it. You know what I mean? But the kids love it. So we were like, all right, we'll buy your 7-on-7 gear. Well, now the fundraising's gone through the roof. Right. And then they also got to pick their number. And in football, you play with whatever number you want, outside of the offensive line. Yeah, there's not a particular number you have to have.
There's a small criteria.
Yeah. And so
on my team there is.
Yeah.
Ain't no lineman with no 5s up in here.
Yeah. Well, you can't play. You can't play with a 5 on the offensive
side.
It's against the rules.
You put that big boy.
I'm different now. Hey, my D lineman, you work, baby.
Look, my nose tackle asked me for the number 0. No.
Oh,
so I ordered one this year.
I got a zero.
I will order it, but my defense
part of it.
But hey man,
we're all different. Man.
I had a kid. He was like, "Are we ordering number 0?" I said, "Yep." He said, "I'll have all my cards sold by tomorrow. 20 smart cards sold." Oof. And then but now, and we had this big board. It was a whiteboard, and my coach Jay, he's a phenomenal. I mean, I couldn't have done what I did last year without my coaches. I didn't. In terms of just the work, I didn't do any of the wins or anything. I just, but without the with work. And Coach Jay, he made this big whiteboard, has all the numbers. Well, every time you hit 20, kid was like, writing it up there. Well, then the kids start to realize, oh boy, we got to get these numbers knocked out quick. So it started to sell quite a bit. So that was something we did. It worked out really well for us. But
that's neat. Thanks, everyone, for watching episode 6 of the Coach's Corner CCN Network. Don't forget to tune in. Now, listen, I got to leave. I'm going to video these guys practice this summer, see what's going on. I'll get it to you soon. Join next time. Thanks for watching.
For current and exclusive content, subscribe to CDE Lightband, connecting you at the speed of light.